I'm Allison McBain, and I'm the author behind Author vs. AI. If you'd like to learn more, please follow along at my website, authorversusai.com. In this video, I'm sharing tips and tricks about how I'm writing a book a week and how you can do it too. The topic this week is creating the characters for your book. A story is all about the characters in its pages, so this is one of the most important topics when you're writing your manuscript. This is the second of 3 parts. Last week I talked about creating distinctive character names, and this week has to do with how to make unique characters for your story. When creating my character sheets before I start writing my books, there are several pieces of info that I like to know about my people, even if those details never make it onto the page. I have the basics of age, hair color, eye color, height, appearance, all that good stuff. Those are good to have. But then I like to add details about their backstory. It has to include both what they want to accomplish in the story and what they need in order to find a fulfilling ending. Important note, those aren't always the same thing. For example, a character might want to get married to her boyfriend, but what she needs instead is to break up with him and find a guy who's better for her. Or perhaps what she needs instead is to be comfortable with herself before she can become a real partner with another person. This shows that what the character wants isn't always what they should end up with in the story. On top of figuring out those details about my character's motivations, I like to include some likes and dislikes that each character has. One character might like cats, and one might hate cats. And so then you have an inherent conflict between those two characters. This can help both with building those characters' relationship for the reader, as well as making each of them distinct. Another important aspect of a character is how they speak. One common worry, especially for new writers, is that their characters might end up all sounding the same, and that can definitely happen. But there are some ways to avoid that, and it has to do with building your character from the get-go before you start writing. I usually like to assign each character a way of speaking or a habit that makes them stand out. For example, perhaps one character always calls others darlin', with the G missing from the end of the endearment. I'll make sure that no other character uses that term of endearment because then it's unique to that one character. Or perhaps one character always says gonna instead of going to. Slang can help to easily distinguish your characters, but be careful about not overdoing it. You don't want readers to have to wade through your writing, and every bit of slang can make reading harder. Make sure you use only enough to make each character's voice unique and no more. Some other aspects that might help you build a character: figuring out what they're like under pressure. Are they cool and collected, or do they get angry and fly off the handle? And also figuring out their quirky habits, since those are what make a character stand out for the reader. You don't want a boring character who only fits in the intended definition of that type of person. So perhaps you have a warrior who likes to knit hats, or a librarian who likes to ride motorcycles. Having your characters fit into a mold and then breaking that mold a little will make them emerge as distinct and unique. Hope those tips are helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please reach out to me in the chat. Happy writing!